very active on social media. We appreciate that. Keep that coming throughout the entire show. Do you have something you want to accomplish by the age of 35 if you haven't reached 35 yet? For instance, do you want to be able to have saved double your annual salary by age 35? That is actual financial advice that came from a Boston investment firm. That happened recently, and it generated a load of backlash on social media. So Twitter users quickly pointed out how much pressure that would put on millennials who are struggling with just the cost of living. Double your annual salary saved by 35, but do you have any age milestones or milestones that are connected or have been connected with your age? You're 30 now, right? 30. Have you accomplished everything you thought you would by 30?
I think so. I'm not saying I'm not motivated to keep doing well in hockey, but I think I've been very fortunate, and I think one of the biggest things is I talked to a lot of my buddies that were hockey players. We played hockey together, and we were all kind of lucky, or at least I was lucky, to know what I wanted to do at a young age and then eventually do it by the time I was 19 years old. Whereas most people at that age, they don't know what their careers are going to be. They don't know what they're passionate about. And once they finally find out what that is in their mid-20s, then they can start kind of growing into who they're going to become later on in life. But most hockey players, if you're able to play long enough, I mean, I might not be able to play past 40, and then I think most guys, if they get to that stage, they don't know what to do with their lives after that. Whereas like most people, they got families, they got their careers. And
can I put you on the spot a little bit?
Sure.
Do you know what age you want to be married by? He's got a girlfriend. I'm not asking for me.
That's a very, very good question. And I think
is that something in your head that you think, oh, I would love to start a family or be married by?
Of course. Yeah. And I think at this point in our relationship, we're very career driven, and it's for me just knowing when the right time is to start raising a family so I can focus on my children. So we're kind of in that discussion right now. So.
To go back to the career thing, though, you said you joined the league when you were 19. So do you say to yourself, by the time I'm 25, I want to win my first Stanley Cup?
I think you just you take what you can get. I think there's a lot of great players that go through long careers and never get the chance to do that. So I think you count yourself pretty lucky when you get to check that off the list. So.
I got married later in life. I had kids later in life. So personally speaking, I didn't have those thresholds. But professionally, I wanted to be in a national newsroom. I wanted to be reporting before I was 30, and I did it at 28. And I'm happy about that. But other than that, not really. Life comes, you take it, you roll with it, and it's always an adventure. I don't like the pressure of you got to be here at this age and you got to be there. But I did do it with that. I did do it with that aspect.
Yeah, I've never said it by certain things by certain ages. I think that's actually a recipe for disaster. Like I like the idea of setting it by like monthly or yearly and just looking to those small things. And sure, maybe you have a 5-year plan. Like the one thing I did know that I wanted to do by the time I was 35, I thought I have to get into the housing market because I could see what was happening in Toronto. And so I was like, before 35, I kind of have to get into there. And so we did that. I'm so happy I did that. That's the only one. But I feel like after that, you kind of just have to throw caution to the wind, and you have to just like plan on a shorter level, not so much by age, but more like by phase of life.
I buy that. Yeah, I buy that. But I'm a hypocrite because on the flip side, I don't want to set goals of age for anybody, but then I'll judge when a certain person is like. I think we all have. You never met someone like you'll judge when like that dude's 40 and still living with his parents. Like, fair enough. You know what I mean? So I feel like there is a certain standard. By 40, maybe not live with your parents or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
There's some loose ones at the time. I guess that makes me a hypocrite because I wouldn't want someone imposing that on me.
Yeah.
Like, someone's watching TV saying that Lainey, like who are you to tell me that by 40 I shouldn't be living with my parents? It would be. Yeah. The only place I see that that it's really unfair is with women and our biological clock. Because I think for so many of us, I mean, I'm probably pretty average, where it's like I wanted to get my education, I wanted to get a career that I was passionate about. I started one direction, did another. Then I was gonna, I was never one to say, oh, I want to be married and I want to have kids by such and such age. I wanted to have a very healthy, long-term partner. But, and then you discuss maybe kids. And then by that time, you're like, oh my God, am I 30 something? And then you're like, my eggs, what about my eggs? They have a whole other thing going on. And so that's where it's unfair, because we can say that we can control a lot of things. We cannot control the age of our ovaries, like that's the only part where I feel like it's unfair, and then, and if you're lucky, you can have some kind of intervention, but even that's not a guarantee. So guys, you have it real good in some respects. Okay, so moving on, do you like being able to lace your fingers through your partner's hand while you're walking down the street? Or if you're sitting in the social studio audience. If you're not into it, though, I mean, you guys are. If you're not into it, however, you are not alone. There's a writer for The Cut who says she is over it, despite it being a socially acceptable form of PDA, public displays of affection. She argues that it is straight up annoying to not have both hands free, not to mention the awkwardness of the uncoordinated arm swing. Bah humbug! What's wrong with this lady?
No, you're a cuddle bug. I know you love the hand holding.
I would, and I would hold your hand throughout the show if you'd let me, but so the thing is, I am a cuddle bug, and I cannot be with my husband and we're walking down the street and act like strangers. We're always touching. We're always touching. I find that,
What's weird? I think Cynthia's gonna back me up here. I think I hold hands with you guys more than I hold hands more. We hold hands every day. We come out here holding hands.
True.
Yasik, sometimes when he moves to grab my hand, unless he's helping me up a step or moving me through a crowd, I'll swat it away. I just don't want it. But it's very awkward. It's an awkward. It's an awkward. He's taller than I am, and the swing motion is different.
You guys just need to
I need to be checking my phone.
Are you a big hand holder, or are you more of the I feel like I could see you being like the arm around kind of public displays. What are you like? Do you this?
What is your
No,
style?
That? No, like this.
Yeah.
Are you that guy, or are you the hand holding
Well,
guy?
I think it's all the
Or are
same
you
thing.
the-
So whatever works for the two of you. And I honestly think if you're in the moment, you're enjoying each other's company, you're in public, as long as you're not crossing any lines, not getting graphic, you should be able to hang out and be touching all
Do you
that
like the
stuff.
PDA?
I don't mind it. Yeah, I think as long as it's not like a territorial thing and it comes from a good place.
Are you guys a interlacer or a clasp? People have a preference.
I don't know.
Are you a clasper or an interlacer?
Probably
You're a
more-
clasp. You're an interlacer.
I'm an interlacer.
You're an interlacer.
Yeah.
If anything, I prefer a clasp.
Yeah.
What are you?
I don't know. I don't know. I never really
You're a class?
analyzed it. I feel like it's so dependent on the person that you're hand. You gotta have a vibe. You gotta vibe it out. You can't just expect it.
You do. I think I'm a clasper. I love holding hands so much.
Aw.
I do. No, but it's true. If somebody's hurt or having a bad day, I do. I reach for. I don't even know them sometimes.
You know what?
I gotta jump in, ladies. I gotta jump in because Jonathan, we have to ask you something super, super important that you've been affiliated with. You are in town to tell us about a really special opportunity coming up in June, and it's for the opportunity for all Canadians to support their local communities. We want you to tell us a little bit more about how we can do
Well,
this.
I like the way you changed the subject. I don't mind talking about it. I'm here, obviously. I love hanging out with you girls. I'm pretty happy to be here. But the big story for me is the June is Jumpstart Month for Canadian Tire. So I've been a part of, the face of Jumpstart for, 7 or 8 years now. And it's a charity that Canadian Tire is giving back to families all over Canada that can't afford to put their kids in hockey or I think when you have opportunity, you have people supporting you, and to play in the NHL or live your dream, you have to have hundreds of people to help you get there. You kind of realize which ways are important for you to give back, and for me, it's been super special to help kids have those same experiences I had as a kid. So, June is Jumpstart Month at Canadian Tire, so go and donate, and you're doing a good thing.
anytime.
I would love to.